Good evening, and welcome to the Tesla Owners Club of Maryland's first webinar of 2021, and maybe ever. My name is Steve Korfman. I'm the club secretary and a proud owner of a Tesla Model 3. Before we introduce tonight's speaker, I have a few housekeeping items. First, be aware the session is being recorded, and it'll be available for viewing in the future. We'll begin with presentations and follow up with a question and answer period as time allows. And please type any questions in chat as you have them, and we'll do our best to address each one after the presentations. All right, with that, I'd like to introduce Christy Fleischmann Gronke, Manager of Strategic Programs at BGE. Christy's been overseeing BGE's EV Smart programs for the past 3 years and is a fellow Tesla owner and club member. So thanks, Christy, for being here tonight. Take it away.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. So I'm going to run through a quick overview of BGE's programs and then turn it over to Scott Burns, who is with the WeaveGrid team that we're partnered with to be able to offer this program to our Tesla customers. So hopefully everyone can still see my screen. Going to move to the second slide. So BGE, kicked out of there. BGE launched this program in 2019. The Maryland Public Service Commission ordered that the Maryland utilities offer EV programs to our customers to help support Maryland's goal of reaching 300,000 EVs on the road by 2025. So the utilities goal was really to encourage customers to adopt EVs, provide educational tools and information, as well as benefits in installing EV charging infrastructure at their homes and then throughout our service territory. So we have three main programs that we offer. I don't know why this is scrolling like that. But the residential charger rebate is a $300 rebate that we provide to customers that install a charger at their home. Now, this is an eligible level 2 smart charger. When the program launched, we were first rebating ChargePoint, Juicebox, and Siemens chargers, but we were often hearing from customers that they purchased a Tesla and were using either the Tesla wall connector or the mobile charger and wanted to receive the rebate. And through the Maryland Public Service Commission order, we had to collect certain data for the Public Service Commission to see the load impacts of EVs on our grid. So we're collecting aggregate information of when customers are charging and things like that, which required us to be able to collect data from the Tesla drivers to report to the Public Service Commission. So we were able to partner with WeaveGrid to provide that solution, which Scott will get into in a few slides. We also offer a multifamily charger rebate to property owners and developers that install charging stations for their tenants. This also includes homeowners associations, and those commercial incentives are up to $25,000 per location. And lastly, BGE is installing 500 of our own charging stations throughout our service territory. You can find them on government properties, so we've been installing them at local parks, libraries, rec centers, and places within your community where you can go to charge your vehicle. Next slide. So this is just a progress update of where we are. Zoom this out. So as of right now, we have 113 public chargers energized with 263 in progress. We've rebated 57 multifamily properties, and we've received 804 residential rebate applications. So next couple slides are about BGE's vehicle charging rate, which I know many Tesla drivers were interested in on the Facebook page. So BGE started offering a vehicle charging rate in May of 2020. And we added Tesla as an eligible model in December of 2020, so just a few weeks ago. And we're using the data directly from the charger, or in this case, the vehicle, to bill a time of use rate. So utilities all across the country are often setting a second AMI meter or utility grade meter to capture the EV charging. But that's very costly to both the utility and the customer to go through the installation of a second meter. So instead, we're using the data and the technology directly from the charger or car, in this case, to bill customers a separate time of use rate. And as you can see by the graphic at the bottom of the screen, the summer months are between June and September, where there's a large off-peak window, and peak really occurs between 2 and 7 in the afternoon. And then the months that we're in now, which we call the non-summer months, between October and May, there's 2 peaks, one in the morning between 7 and 10, and one in the evening between 5 and 9. So if you charge your car overnight, which a lot of people do, you'll be hitting that off-peak time period and able to save money to charge your car overnight. So this is how it displays on your BGE bill. It will be in the other charges and credits section. So the household meter records all of the consumption in your house as it normally would. And then we receive the data from the Tesla vehicle and subtract out that kWh, what your car says it charged, from your household meter, and then provide a credit based on the amount of time you charge off peak and the difference between the standard rates and the off peak rates. And then my last slide is just how the enrollment process works. So it's a pretty simple process. If you go to bge.com and you go to bge.com/electric vehicles or /EV Smart, you see a link there to get more information on the time of use rate. It'll have you log into your BGE account, and it automatically checks your eligibility to confirm your account is eligible. And then it takes you to the links to connect your charger or car. So you'll see a link for ChargePoint, Juicebox, or Tesla. And once you enroll with your Tesla vehicle or charger, then you're signed up from the rate, and all you have to do is charge off peak and save money. Now I'll turn it over to Scott to run through a couple slides on WeaveGrid. So as I mentioned, we partnered with WeaveGrid to be able to provide this solution to customers. After conversations with Tesla directly, they were in a position to set up integrations with the utility to provide the data that we need for our Public Service Commission requirements. So we brought in WeaveGrid, and Scott will explain their processes.
Great. Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Christy, and thank you, Stephen, for having us on here. So the presentation here is Christy, are you controlling, or is this Stephen?
I am.
Or okay, are you able to do that, or do you want me to take over sharing?
Whichever.
I can. Okay, yeah, we can. I mean, I think probably smoother just to go from here.
Okay.
So, Christy, if you want to advance us to the next slide. Yeah, so I just wanted to wanted to share a little bit of background on WeaveGrid. We've been working with BGE, as Christy mentioned, for almost a year now, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been really exciting to see, and it's been really exciting to connect with Tesla owners in Maryland. There's a few of you on the call I've talked to or corresponded with before, so it's cool to see you here as well. And so I guess as background on WeaveGrid and who we are, we were founded by 2 veterans from energy and automotive industry. So Porv Bhargava and John Taggart, CEO, CTO, respectively. And they were the standard startup story. The business guy meets tech guy on the Stanford campus, and Porv had worked at Opower and NRG for many years, and John had been at Tesla and Nissan. And they just saw a huge opportunity to address climate risk by intelligently connecting vehicles to the grid, and created the company. I joined the team a little over a year and a half ago, because I, like them, came from a background in consumer technology and software, and had a personal finance company previously, grew that, and eventually, reached millions of people or through downloads, and had 10,000s of active users, but really saw climate as the most urgent problem to be addressed, and saw the technologies available as extremely exciting. Eventually connected with Apoorv and John, and really was excited by their vision of sharing some of this value that electric vehicles could present to the grid back with EV owners, to make the EV ownership experience easier, cheaper, and just overall better. So if you can go to the next slide, Christy, can highlight a little bit more of how we work. So we help. So we run utility programs, just like the ones that Christy highlighted, and allow electric vehicle owners, Tesla owners, to connect their vehicle to our application, and connect to BGE, and through this, in a way that's designed to be very easy for drivers, we're able to offer financial incentives and digital experiences from using the EV data that we're able to get to both provide these incentives and provide visibility into analytics around vehicle charging that provides value for drivers. So if you can go on, Christy, to the next slide. As Christy mentioned, we connected to BGE when we heard that they had a ton of Tesla owners with wall connectors who couldn't access EV rebates that EV Smart was providing. And so BGE was extremely disappointed not to be able to reach the largest EV owning group in their service territory, and not be able to provide these benefits for drivers. And so what we were able to do is step in and open up access to Tesla owners who, rather than being restricted to a narrow set of chargers, could use basically any charger, any level 2 charger, including eventually the universal mobile connector, and but connect directly through our application. And it's a fairly simple process. I'll talk to that in the next slide. And through this connection, both participate in the rebate program, and eventually in the vehicle time of use charging program that Christy just described. But Christy, if you can go on to the next page, we can highlight how it works. As I think Christy highlighted, there's three or four steps to the process. So you sign up through EV Smart. So in looking at the rebate program, you can start at the landing page, but through EV Pulse, we have an off flow that requires 3 simple steps. Just you create an account with a username and password, provide your address information so that we can verify you're connected to a customer account within BGE service territory, and then connect your vehicle. And so, the process typically takes just over a minute. And that's our median time to completion. So it's quite simple. And for those of you on the call who've done this already, hopefully can attest to the simplicity here. And then once you're connected, we do provide a digital experience that includes insights on actual charge cost, the percentage of charging taking place off peak, the consistency to which you're plugging in, which as the first bullet on Tesla's charging FAQs is something that's beneficial typically for battery health, and also ultimately will provide more flexibility for the grid, and also highlights, we have highlights on the status of your rebate and links to also sign up for the time of use rate if you haven't done that, as well as insights on tips for operating your vehicle. So that's the experience with EV Pulse. Christy, if you can go to the next slide. I think, okay.
This is it.
Okay, yeah. So this is just a little bit more detailed view on the digital experience if you've signed up with EV Pulse. So again, measures of charge costs that typically aren't broken out on utility bills that a lot of drivers find helpful, as well as analysis on energy, percentage of energy consumed off peak, and highlights on your plug-in consistency. So Christy, you can go on to the next slide. From feedback we've gotten in the Tesla Owners Club of Maryland Facebook page is there's in the ask for connecting your vehicle for some people is fairly sensitive, in that we're asking people to submit their username and password for their vehicle, and wanted to highlight that at WeaveGrid we're committed to protecting driver security and privacy, and have an array of mechanisms that we've put in place to make sure that drivers are not at risk in any way. And so as part of this, on when vehicle app credentials through our app are submitted, we do not store these. So we do not store your password. It's simply passed on to Tesla. And using the OAuth protocol, we obtained a token that we can use to then call and read charging data from the vehicle. All data in transit through our application is encrypted either with transport layer security or SSH. And okay, so I see some questions coming in here. Hold on, I want to make this interactive, but also, there's on the next, I think in the next few slides, I think I'm going to address a few of these. So I will, let me just run through this and get to the next slide, and then we'll circle back up on some of these questions. But yeah, some of the other measures that we have in place is like all of our different services are isolated within virtual private clouds, and access to these like very, very strictly monitored and segregated. Data types are segregated, and anything that's sensitive is encrypted. Access controls on our team are strictly limited, and we're working towards SOC 2 compliance, and are aligning all our security practices with the NIST framework, working with a number of reputable third-party security firms to both audit and reinforce our measures. And like as part of this, we've passed reviews by both the US DOE Exelon and Duke Energy as well. So I think we take security and privacy very, very seriously, and are committed to protecting both your data and any kind of sensitive information from drivers. Christy, if you want to go on to the next slide. I think the other common area of concern about being connected to the EV Pulse app is the potential impact on batteries. And the way our app operates is that we do not wake vehicles that are sleeping. At that point, if you're parked, and we know you've parked and remain at rest and not charging, there's no value to the information we can get from the car and use for both the analysis that we provide back to you or for reporting to BGE. And so we monitor to see that the vehicle's not sleeping, and if it is, we will simply create what we call a replica read that reflects the fact that the car is where it was when we last read, and so it continues to be asleep, and like we know the state of it from that condition. So that's how we operate. So I know there's concern that that there might be excess battery drain as a result of being connected through EV Pulse, but this is like we strive to prevent this, and because we're not waking the vehicle, we are not posing an excess drain that I think is going to limit your overall battery performance and use of the vehicle. So Christy, if you want to go on, and just we're it's been great working with BGE. It's been great working with all the drivers in the program. We're very actively trying to connect and build the EV community. And as part of this, listening to drivers and listening to BGE and using this to inform a roadmap that can provide continue to provide additional benefits to EV drivers and to BGE and to additional utilities. And so things that we're rolling out right now are support for multi-factor authentication that some people have chosen to include in their Tesla account. That's rolling out. We're rolling that out this week, potentially tomorrow. And we're expanding for those of you in Pepco or Delmarva service territory, rolling out a similar rebate program to that Christy described, and then we've got a whole bunch of other features in the works to help you. And I guess the last thing, Christy, I'll just highlight here is again, as part of our efforts to make the EV ownership experience both cheaper and easier and just overall better, we've trying to raise this driver advisory council. So there's a link there, and I can share it in the chat later. But for those of you interested in sharing your feedback, sharing your perspective as a Tesla owner on the features that could make your life better, invite you to sign up. We're doing ongoing customer feedback interviews and typically offer as a token of appreciation $40 gift cards for these sessions. And in the future, opening beta access as new features roll out, and then are looking to do some roundtable discussions where you can connect with other drivers, sort of like this gathering here. And again, there's a couple other email addresses in case you have feedback or questions. So that's I think the basic spiel. So hopefully that gives you a richer picture of how we work with BGE and the programs available and the software. And so yeah, I'll stop there, and I think it's time for QA now, Christy. Yep. and yep. Stephen.
Yep.
So I'll read these off, and Christy, you just answer them or hand them off to Scott as appropriate.
Okay.
The first one is, can someone register 2 Teslas?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, or sorry, Christy, you want me to address this one? Yeah. Yeah. So if you're typically if you're a household and you have 2 Teslas, unless you've registered those under separate usernames, you only actually have to connect like your one Tesla OEM username and password, and then that will automatically connect both your vehicles.
So
and then on the program side, I'll let Christy address that.
Yeah, so you can connect 2 vehicles for the time of use rate. There is only 1 rebate allowed per household. So if you have 2 wall connectors, you can only get 1 rebate per household.
Thank you. I think you answered this, but since polling of a Tesla causes it to wake from sleep, is there a way to control the polling
Yeah.
time and or frequency?
That's, yeah.
So-
So great question, and glad I was able to address it earlier. So that the idea is we are not waking vehicles up from their sleep. And the polling we're doing is, done with the objective of providing accurate charging information, both for fulfilling these programs and sharing it back with drivers. And so, we don't offer like a mechanism to control that on the driver side. But I will say, besides having our intelligent mechanisms now to avoid drain on the vehicle, we are working on additional features that will also dynamically poll according to the state of the vehicle, so that we can continue to increase the accuracy that we provide around charging events, but also I think like reduce where not needed polling.
Okay. And another one for me, and I'm into security as a living, so hence the question, but is there any plan along with Tesla to limit access to only the data necessary to support the time of use rate? And I think you answered that too.
Yeah. So so we get that. So we're reading data and obviously apply the measures that that we discussed before, and I think we're only pulling essentially that what's needed to support these programs, and I think we're constantly exploring measures to sort of restrict this or limit how this is stored and what we're pulling. So I think all these things are measures that we are taking to reduce the scope of being able to deliver the features that you need and BGE needs, but optimizing for protecting your data.
Thank you. Next question. I have submitted my refund for an EV charger, but connectivity testing is still pending for a month now. What's the holdup?
Okay, great. Would love to talk to you directly, and we can figure this out. Is that sorry, who
It's
is
action, and I'm not going to pronounce that.
And if you could clarify, are you trying to connect a Tesla or a charger?
Let's see, it might be useful to take him off of mute.
Yeah, and
Bear with me one second.
yeah, so I didn't see the comment, but also if you want to chat me with your email address, I can also follow up directly and help get this sorted out.
Okay. Action.
If this is an EV Pulse account.
He's off of mute.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, I will put the question. It was DM'd directly to me, so I'll put it in public
Okay.
chat.
Yeah, we can look into that.
Sure.
I also saw your note about the people are confusing the EV whole house time of use rate that we've had since about 2015 with this rate. And I should have had something in my slide deck. So we do still have an EV whole house time of use rate. It's exactly the same on peak, off peak rates and time periods as the EV only. But it does, instead of separating out just your charging consumption, it applies the on peak, off peak to your whole house consumption. And that's really, if customers have a level 1 charger, they have a plug-in hybrid, probably doesn't really apply to Tesla drivers. But some people are still interested in the whole house time of use rate. So we're still offering that, the EV only time of use rate, where we're separating out your EV charging from your household consumption. is more popular, so that you don't have to worry about what you're doing in your house during on-peak times, especially, you know, with the pandemic. A lot of people are probably working from home, and you don't want to worry about what you're doing in your house during on-peak times.
All right, let's see.
Does he want to ask his question verbally? And
Yeah, he's unmuted, but I don't hear him.
okay.
So the next question is there any EV Pulse functionality that incentivizes charging in areas in the country where there may be excess renewable energy?
Yeah, it's great question. And I mean, I can't go into specifics, but yeah, there's been discussions, you know, there's places in the country where there's a lot of wind late at night, overnight, when a lot of vehicles are charging at home. And so I think there are ways that you know, that people can be incentivized, and we're exploring how we can help reward people for absorbing that you know, that excess supply of energy at those periods.
All right, next question. I have an old EVSE, a dumb unit. How can I determine if it pays to upgrade it, and how much I will save, and how long to recoup those costs?
Well, if you're driving a Tesla, you don't need to upgrade to be able to take part in the time of use rate. If you want to upgrade and receive a BGE rebate, assuming you haven't received one already, our rebate again is a flat $300. It's not a percentage of what you install, it's flat $300. And then the state of Maryland still offering incentives, a 40% of the cost of the charger and installation up to $700. And then the federal government is providing a tax credit of 30% of the charger cost and installation up to $1,000. So in theory, you know, if you max out on the state and the federal incentive, you can get up to $2,000 to cover the cost of the charger and installation. As far as timing, BGE's turnaround is 30 days, assuming we received all the information that we needed up front. Potentially there's connection issues, which we see from the one question so far, but typical turnaround is 30 days. The state of Maryland is actually pretty quick as well. And I think they post their turnaround times as 3 months, but I went through it a couple months ago and got a check very quickly. And the federal program is you receive the tax credit when you file your taxes. So that is what it is. Breezy.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll just say, I mean, that on the question of the dumb unit, I think, you know, one of the pleasures of being able to step into this program is like giving people access, people who have dumb units, in enabling them to participate in both the rebate and the vehicle time of use programs.
Go Tesla.
Yeah.
What are the current prices for the TOU plans? Time of use plans.
I was pulling that up. You guys can see bg.com.
Yes.
Slowly. Here it comes. Okay, let me make this here. So the schedule EV, which is right down one. Or my computer's being slow. So right now we're in the February to May time period. So on peak is 14.6 cents and off peak is 4 cents.
Is that delivered, or is You know, there's a delivery
That is
rate plus the,
supply. Yeah,
what's that? That's supply.
yep. And yeah, that's the supply rate, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see, are there any programs that incentivize businesses to install free chargers, or are free chargers going to become a dying breed now that EVs are on the road? Will all of the 500 chargers BGE is installing require payment?
Yes, so BGE chargers, we are required to charge for the charging session per the Maryland Public Service Commission. We do offer rebates for multifamily properties to install charging stations, and they can offer them for free or charge. We don't get involved in how those charging stations are presented to the public, but for our charging stations, we have to charge a market-based rate to drivers that use them. So every 6 months, we are taking an average of all of the charging stations that are available in Maryland and doing an average, which gets to our market-based rates. And currently we charge 18 cents per kWh for level 2 and 34 cents per kWh for DC fast charger.
Okay, and just to clarify, it's charged per kilowatt hour, not by time connected.
Correct. Yes.
Let's see, next question. I've had my charger registered with the EV Pulse website for a couple months now. However, on my dashboard, I don't see any charging data yet. It only says, come back soon to see charging data and insights. Is this normal? There's something
Nope.
wrong. Tesla with Tesla wall charger installed.
Yeah, definitely seems like something's wrong. Happy to also follow up with Matt on that one and get the issue sorted out. Could be, yeah, there could be a number of different things going on. So let me troubleshoot. Matt, I'll DM you and we can connect directly and get you straightened out.
Okay, and if you could also note the case number that's been pasted in there as well. That was the other gentleman.
Right. Yeah, I've connected also in direct message with auction.
Okay, great.
Is it a Tesla connection, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, I need to verify that. So, and just to clarify, action, you this is you signed up through EV Pulse previously. Not sure if I caught the verification there.
And we have heard, with the current state of the postal system, our checks, rebate checks are mailed out. If you ever, once it moves into that status, if it's been, more than a week or so and you want a new check issued, you can just reach out. I monitor our mailbox, which is evsmart@bge.com. If you have any specific questions about your application or the time of use rate or anything else, we will answer questions to that mailbox. And I also want to mention, while we don't have any questions at the moment, we're going to be launching a referral program as well. So if you refer friends or family to receive BGE's rebate, we'll be providing an RFID card for our Green Lots network for $25, which gets you about 500 miles of charge on a level 2. They're excited to launch that. We know a lot of EV drivers today are communicating with each other in these community type events. So we want to promote, drivers to promote to other drivers our programs, and we'll also start sending out window clings or bumper stickers along with the rebate application that say I am EV Smart, just building, a community of our drivers.
All right. Anybody
Cool.
have
And I was gonna post other a link for something else that I mentioned in the in my presentation section, and I think aligns with what Christy was talking about, building the community. There's a sign up form if you're interested in providing feedback on any of the programs we've discussed, or the EV Pulse digital experience and or future EV Pulse offerings. Would love to have you in the WeaveGrid Driver Advisory Council. So there's a link there to a sign up form where you can drop your contact information, and we'll follow up to as we post events and have opportunities to connect. So that's in the.
So I had a question for you, if I may ask. May I ask you a question?
Yes,
Go
please.
ahead.
So my question is regarding I put it in, I got the EV charger installed in about January 4th. That was the day that I got installed, and I filled out all the application. I put all the pictures out there. And as you can see from my text post on the chat, it basically keeps saying connectivity verification is pending. I called to the office a couple times already to you guys, and you guys said, well, everything is fine. Your documents are good. We're waiting for connectivity verification pending. I even contacted Tesla and I asked them about it. Like, what is the procedure that you guys run on your hand? And they said, we don't do anything in our hand. It's BGE literally have to accept that you're installed it, and they should do the refund. Nothing happens from their end. So what I'm trying to ask is, what is the purpose of this connectivity verification pending? And what am I waiting on? I still don't understand what's happening.
So when you filled out your application, you're connecting your Tesla through EV Pulse, so that we're able to have that connection to pay out the rebate. And that's what Scott is checking into on his side from the EV Pulse side. They're waiting.
So you're saying my car Tesla or my charger Tesla?
It would be your car.
My car. So the issue is I haven't gotten my car yet, but I have tested the charger. I have tested the charger with a friend of mine's car. So the charger works.
Okay, I think I saw an email about that. Yeah, so we need the car connected. So we'll hold your application until, do you have a estimated delivery date yet?
So they're saying within 2 to 3 weeks, the latest 3 weeks, the earliest 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because I'm getting the 2021, which is there's a modest update to the 21 version in comparison to 20 version of the Tesla Model 3. So for that reason, I hold it off for this year, which is the earliest is in March, the first week of March.
Okay.
So, but I was told, Kristen, that earlier that it has nothing to do if you have the car or not. It's about the charger itself.
Yeah.
So that's not true, basically.
No, sorry for that miscommunication. For Tesla, it's the car. So as soon as you have the car, we can process the rebate for you.
Okay. So do I have to do anything at that point or no, when I get the car?
You'll have to connect with EV Pulse.
Yeah, and just to clarify, yeah, have you created an account with EV Pulse and connected?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, you did that. Okay. Yeah, then I think that's the issue. If there's no vehicle associated with that account and there's no energy data, we're not able to.
Vehicle? Do I have to put some kind of VIN number there, or because I didn't see any place in there that you have to enter the VIN number. It just you just create the account and you go to your Tesla account and then you enter from the Tesla account, but it has nothing to do. There is no VIN number or anything that I have to enter anywhere.
Correct. But your Tesla account doesn't have a vehicle associated with it yet, so that's what.
Okay, got you. So once my vehicle basically is available for me within my Tesla account, you guys will get to see it without me doing anything, basically.
Yeah, and just to confirm, it should happen with no issue. But once you have the vehicle, just email us at evsmart@bge.com and we'll make sure it gets taken care of for you.
Okay.
Just a
So I'll do
quick
that. I'll respond to you guys.
Right. Quick
you.
housekeeping note, the Zoom meeting may end any second now. I'm not sure. So just a warning. Next question. How can I verify which incentives and rebates I previously received on my first EVSE install? And which others am I eligible for now?
So we can definitely check if you received the BGE rebate. I honestly don't know if there's limitations on the state rebate, if it's one per household or not. But I can give you the links to the state contacts and they would be able to confirm that as well. So again, if you could email me at evsmart@bge.com, I'll look into that on the BGE side for you. You're on mute.
If I missed it, why do I have to give access to my account?
So for the Maryland Public Service Commission, we are required to report aggregate data on when customers are charging their cars. So basically, as the EV population continues to grow and Maryland has the goal of 300,000 EVs on the road, there will be potentially some grid issues if all of those EVs plug in at the same time. So the Public Service Commission is trying to capture aggregate data on when people are charging their cars and what load that's putting on our system so that we can plan accordingly. So to be able to offer the $300 rebate to our customers, we need the aggregate data to report to the Public Service Commission, which is why the access to the account is necessary. But as Scott mentioned during his presentation, none of that information is stored. It's only to capture the token and record the data that's necessary for our program reporting.
Yeah. I mean, I'd just say that I think access to connection to the charging data from the vehicle is what we're taking. But yes, we are not. There's no access to. We're not storing your password to be able to get into your account and like I think get other sensitive information about the vehicle or you.
All right, last call for questions.
We would appreciate you, any questions of other Tesla drivers, please encourage them to reach out to us at evsmart@bge.com. We're providing incentives for the charger, for continuing to charge off peak, and we'll have future programs coming. As Scott had on one of his slides, we're developing managed charging programs, which would be sort of like the BGE's peak rewards program or now connected rewards. So again, as those EVs are, if we offer a time of use rate and then all the EVs start charging at 9 o'clock at night when the off-peak time occurs, there could be grid issues. So the managed charging can throttle when cars are charging, and we're designing programs to provide additional incentives to customers to help alleviate some of the grid requirements.
All right, great. Well, Christy and Scott, thank you very much for spending your time with us this evening. It's been great. I look forward to having you again sometime. Absolutely. And perhaps actually meeting you all in person at some point.
Yeah, if we can meet in person again, BGE is interested in hosting some meetups or events for Tesla drivers. So fingers crossed those are allowed again soon.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah, and yeah, thanks so much, Stephen, for hosting us. And are you sharing the slides? Were you sharing them with the group, or I was just gonna say also, if anyone wants to has any questions, I'll follow up with a couple of you who direct messaged me, but also I'm scott@weavegrid.com, and also just posted the Driver Advisory Council sign up sheet in case you're interested in participating.
Okay, great. And we'll have the whole Zoom call here will be up for the club members here
Right.
at some point soon. So great.
Thanks, Steve, for coordinating.
Awesome. Yeah,
Great,
thanks.
thank
This
you
is
very
awesome.
much.
And thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.